What's up, everybody? This is Chris from thebroadstreetjournal.com. Just wanted to check in real quick and do a quick video podcast. And, just got done watching the Baltimore-Houston game, and I can't help but think about the Philadelphia Eagles and really how far they have to go before they compete for a championship. It's almost night and day, man, between the Eagles and, the likes of the Ravens, the Patriots, the Packers and Giants. I hate to say that, but it's true. They have a long way to go before they compete for a championship and ultimately win a Super Bowl. I mean, you look at some of these teams that are left, and it's just amazing. I mean, just how the franchises are built from year to year. The Eagles have made so many mistakes defensively as far as talent evaluation goes. I mean, I don't have time to really go through all the picks that they missed on. Jerome McDougal, Matt McCoy. I'm going to say Brandon Graham. I'm going to say Lito Shepherd. Man, there's a ton. Broderick Bunkley got traded for a 5th round pick. They moved up to get him. There's a bunch really, but not to really to cry about that right now, but they just have so far to go. In particular on the defensive side of the ball. They ended up finishing 8th in total defense, which just like I think Jeffrey Lurie said, that was like fool's gold, and I believe that because I definitely don't think they were the eighth best defense in the league. They weren't. I mean, they were terrible for the first 10 weeks of the year. My grandmother could have ran for 100 yards on the Eagles defense, and she's dead. So I think really that they really need to get their shit straight when it comes to talent evaluation on the defensive side of the ball. There's going to come a time where you have to spend more than a 6th-round draft pick on a linebacker. I realize the fact that they view the linebacker position like they view running backs, where it's a wear and tear position, and you constantly have to rotate young dudes. It's a young man's position. I get all that. I really do get that. And I know that when you're trying to build a team to win a championship, you have to allocate your money in certain areas. And I realize that linebacker, in the way the NFL is played today, where it's a passing game, the rules are really slanted towards the offense. I realize that linebacker is not the same position of need as it was 15 years ago, but it's still you can't just blatantly ignore it. You can't ignore that position, which the Eagles have done ever since Andy Reid's been here. I mean, you had Trotter. I mean, outside of Jeremiah Trotter, name me one linebacker that was really ever a difference maker for the Eagles. I mean, you could make the argument that maybe Carlos Emmons was. He was actually pretty decent, but they had Takeo Spikes. He really, I don't know. I don't think this was really his style of defense because he was actually very good before he came to the Eagles. But you can't continue to ignore that position, because if you look around the league and you look at some of the top defenses in the league, they have a game changer at the linebacker position. Maybe not at every linebacker position like maybe the Steelers do, but the top defenses, the teams that ultimately win Super Bowls, they have decent defenses, and most of them have pretty damn good linebackers. So I'm not saying that the entire franchise hinges on that one position, because obviously it doesn't, but there's going to come a time where you have to at least pay that position some mind. And really try to bring in somebody who has some talent, because clearly, when you look at the Eagles defense this year, and I know the easy thing to do because everybody's talking about it is to blame Juan Castillo and the linebackers. It was like that's all everybody want to talk about, linebackers and Juan Castillo. And yes, there was faults in both of those areas, but you can't blame Juan Castillo for the whole thing because the Eagles front office has to take some blame. I mean, they're the ones who ultimately have final say on draft picks. Yes, coaching is important, but you have to have talent in the NFL to win. I mean, that's that goes without saying. So the fact that they really have neglected that position for many years, not saying that's led to their demise. I mean, because obviously football is a team sport, but I mean, shit, Matt McCoy. I mean, Dhani Jones, Mark Seminow. Really? Mark Seminow? Who else? I can't even remember these cats. I can't even remember them. That's how bad they were. They just slipped my mind. And I watch every damn game. I can't even remember them. I remember who my second grade teacher was, Miss McGuire. But I can't remember the linebackers from like 3 years ago. That's how bad they are. So, I mean, please, what film are you watching? What film are you watching on draft day? In the war room. What the fuck are you doing? Are you watching like SpongeBob SquarePants? Like, are you not watching like SEC game film? Are you not watching Big 12, Big 10? What are you doing in the war room? You know what I mean? Please tell me that because, I mean, you're clueless on the defensive side of the ball. You had to go out and buy pieces. You had to go out and buy Asante Samuel. You had to go out and buy Jason Babin. You had to buy Nnamdi Asomugha. You know what I mean? You missed on most everybody else. I mean, yeah, Trent Cole, I'll give you him. I'll give you Sheldon Brown. Okay, that's two players that panned out in 13 years of you drafting players. And when you look at defense, you moved up to get defensive players. You moved up to get Bunkley. You moved up to get McDougal. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? You're supposed to be a professional organization. What are you doing? You know what I mean? It's just crazy. It's crazy how you can just make that many mistakes on that side of the ball. It boggles my mind, man. It boggles my mind. So until you can get your shit straight on the defensive side of the ball, obviously we know. Look, we know. I'll give it to you, Eagles. I'll give it to you. You can put an offense together. You know what I mean? You drafted D-Jack. You drafted Macklin. You drafted LaShawn McCoy. You know what you're doing with the O-line for the most part, even though there's been some turnover on the offensive line, injuries, stuff like that. But I mean, damn, defense, you have to get your shit together, man. And now that the Saints lost, Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator for the Saints, who's been there for several years, who's actually done a pretty good job. He's real tight with Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher just took the Rams job. Everybody's saying that Greg Williams is going to leave to go to the Rams, which is going to leave an opening for the Saints. And we all know about the whole Steve Spagnuolo thing. I mean, if I'm Steve Spagnuolo and I had to pick between the Saints and the Eagles, damn right I'm picking the Saints. The Eagles, they're ass backwards. They done hired a defensive line coach, linebackers coach, and secondary coach before they hired a damn defensive coordinator. Then when they hired a defensive coordinator, it was the offensive line coach. Do you really want to be the coach of that organization, especially when Andy Reid basically is on the hot seat? Nobody's, the front office doesn't want to say that directly, but he's got to be. He's got to be. He's been here forever and a day and hasn't won a Super Bowl. If he's not on the hot seat, I might have to change squads, man, because this is getting crazy. So, I don't know, man. I know I'm reeling, I'm spouting right now, but it's just frustrating to watch some of these teams in the playoffs and then think about the Eagles and how close they were going 8-8. If they would have won one more damn game, they would be playing the Packers right now, most likely. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's just, you went 5-1 in the NFC East, but you went 3-7 against the rest of the league. You lost to the Cardinals. You lost to the Bears. You lost to some sorry ass teams. How does that happen? How does that happen? You know what I mean? Crazy, man. But at least in Philadelphia, we had the Flyers who are balling, and we have the Phillies who, I don't know, man. It's so hard to go to the playoffs. It's so hard to win a World Series, man. You got to be hot at the right time. And yes, they have the pitching. They blew all that money on Papelbon. What the fuck was that? You had Ryan Madsen, who is plenty good when you got 3 stud starters. Why are you spending money on a closer? You know what I mean? Clearly, your offense was the reason why you didn't win the World Series. You didn't get to the World Series. Why are you spending money on pitching? And in a closer of all positions, when you have Cole Hamels, who is 27 or something like that. He's a young stud, but you're spending money on a closer? Like, I don't get that part. I just don't get that. I don't get that. So, anyway, at least we have the Flyers. We have the Phillies to look forward to, because the Eagles obviously ain't doing shit. I think I'm done for now. I just had to get all that off my chest. Remember to check us out at thebroadstreetjournal.com. I haven't updated it in maybe a week or probably longer than that, because just life gets in the way. But also facebook.com/The Broad Street Journal, twitter.com/BroadST Journal. Leave me some comments here on the YouTube page. Give me your thoughts. If you were the GM, what would you do? Obviously, you can say we would get a linebacker, we would get a safety, but think a little bit deeper than that. What do we really, really need to do to compete for a championship in Philadelphia? Because obviously, these other teams have it figured out, man, and they consistently figure it out. The Patriots and Ravens, the Packers are in the damn playoffs every year. It seems like. So, what are we going to do, Philly? Leave me some comments. Let me know. Thanks for watching.